What up, gents? Got a new video today. I'm going to be talking about why I hate mailing lists. I cannot stand them, and what we should do about it. So, mailing lists are really, they're not the worst thing ever, right? Like, there is terrorism. Terrorism is pretty bad. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe just terrorism. I'm also not a big fan of having to tip at like restaurants and stuff. So maybe that's what maybe it's terrorism number 1, like in terms of like bad things, right? The worst thing is terrorism. And then we've got tipping, and then mailing lists is the third. Right? So for those of you that don't love emails with the same vigor that I do, you might be confused, talking about what's so wrong with mailing lists? Why do you hate them so much? Well, I love my emails, man. Emails are my pride and joy. I love being able to check my emails in the morning or at the end of the day and seeing, maybe there's something cool going on. It's a bit like the lottery, right? You never know what you're going to get, but there might be something cool there. So you just got to keep on checking your emails. I love checking my emails, man. I check them a couple times every day. The issue that I have with my emails is that 90% of them are bogus. I'm getting 15, 20 emails a day maybe, and all but 2 of them are mailing lists, right? And there are 2 different types. Like you can think of these as like, there's hepatitis. Maybe hepatitis might be number 3, actually. I take it back. So we've got like, first worst thing is terrorism. And then we've got tipping. Maybe hepatitis is worse than tipping. Maybe hepatitis is number 2. I don't know. Put it down in the comments. But anywho, hepatitis probably cracks the top 3. So then maybe mailing lists are more number 4. But, there's hepatitis A and B. There's diabetes, type 1, type 2. There's also different classes of mailing lists, right? So the first class of mailing lists are the ones that you can unsubscribe from, right? These are not the end of the world. The reason they're not the end of the world is because you can unsubscribe from them, right? I actually love if there's a meter gauging the magnitude of my hatred for mailing lists, my joy from unsubscribing from mailing lists may rival my hatred in magnitude, right? So I really cannot stand mailing lists, but I really do love unsubscribing from them. It is super fun. So I suppose it's possible that those mailing lists might actually be net neutral. Even though I do, I still kind of despise them, but I do love being able to unsubscribe from them. Now, my issue with the second type of mailing list, these are the really dangerous ones, right? The second type of mailing lists are the ones that make you want to nosedive off your balcony. And that is the ones that you cannot unsubscribe from, right? I bet that was quite the shocker that the first type you can and the second type you can't. But these ones are the worst, right? Let me give you an example. I personally am not doing anything algebra related, right? Like for my school email. So I don't do anything with algebra at all. I never have, I never will. I guarantee you until the day I die, I will never attend an algebra seminar. But you know what email I get once or twice a week, every single week? Algebra seminar. I don't care about it, right? But this is not a mailing list in the traditional sense where, you scroll to the bottom and it says unsubscribe and whatever. No, this one is far more devious and sinister. They try to rope you in by putting you on a group, right? So I'm in the math students group or whatever this is, right? So it's a mailing list, but it's not it's not automated quite in the same sense, right? You can't unsubscribe from it. I do have a question before we continue. If anybody knows anything about marketing or whatever, are you legally required to give an unsubscribe option on mailing lists? Because it's interesting, I have I've gotten a lot of these bogus, like things, right? And I'm always, you can scroll to the bottom in real small letters. It says unsubscribe or something like this. You can find it a lot of times. You know what I mean? Down there at the bottom. And I'm wondering why that always exists, because you think that the companies doing this, putting you on the mailing list, would be too scummy to keep that. So I wonder if maybe they're required to. I mean, you could also always block them, so maybe they're trying to give you that service of like, oh, you don't have to block us, just unsubscribe. But you wonder why would it be so small in that case? So I'll give you an example of ones that you can unsubscribe from if you don't know this, right? A lot of people, I think, don't understand that they can unsubscribe. So you just keep on tanking these emails, and it's just whittling down your self-respect and like your esteem every day. You wake up, you get a coffee, you pop a Zen, you sit down, and you're just having a great day, man. The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, and you love life. Your cat sits on your lap, and you are ready to get started for the day. And then you check your email. And it's like, okay, LinkedIn has sent me 4 emails this morning, all of things that I could not possibly care less about, but they still feel the need to tell me what Ted from HR is doing. I don't care. I don't care about Ted from HR. Why is he on my LinkedIn? I personally, this is why maybe LinkedIn might crack the top 3. Honestly, LinkedIn might be worse than hepatitis. LinkedIn might be worse than hepatitis. I cannot stand LinkedIn. And you know what? This video is no longer about emails. This is going to be about why I cannot stand LinkedIn. So LinkedIn, man. LinkedIn is the worst. The reason that I hate LinkedIn so much is because it's the Black Eyed Peas for business, right? The Black Eyed Peas are rap for people who don't like rap and rock for people who don't like rock. LinkedIn is social media for people that don't like social media. It's business for people that don't do business. It's like just it is the worst thing to ever happen in human history. This is worse than terrorism. I think LinkedIn is terrorism. And the reason that LinkedIn is terrorism is because people assume that it makes them business people, right? So LinkedIn doesn't make you, it's not going to give you anything in a business sense. All it's going to do is like just clutter your day to day, right? So now I feel like I have to go check my LinkedIn, or I'm getting all these emails from LinkedIn. Now I'm getting, people from my place trying to connect with me, and now I have to update my LinkedIn with the thing is, LinkedIn causes the user to assume that others care about them, right? When you're updating your LinkedIn and you're changing, stuff on there about what you've been involved in, you're assuming that every other person on LinkedIn isn't there just so that they can update their own stuff, right? It's kind of like the paradox of wanting to be a professional athlete as a kid, right? And this might not be everybody, but at least I remember, as a kid, you're like 4 or 5 or whatever. It's like, oh, I want to play in the NFL. The reason that you go and watch the NFL, right, is because you want to play, right? I mean, there are plenty of adults that watch the NFL. I'm not saying this is everybody, but at least for me, I would watch the NFL as a kid thinking, oh man, I like, it'd be so cool if I could play in the NFL. So I don't actually care about any of these people on my screen. I'm just wishing that I was them. But then when you are them, you assume that everybody cares about you. No, the only reason that people care about you is because you have what they want. It's the same thing with LinkedIn. You're going on LinkedIn because it's a great networking platform and everybody's going to see what you're doing. You can connect with people in the field and whatever. No, you're on there to show people how great you are at your business stuff and get jobs. But that's why everybody else is there. Nobody is there for you. Nobody cares what John is doing in his job. They're just there to show people what they're doing. So what's the point? I have no idea. Please, somebody leave a comment about what the point is of LinkedIn. And if there is a valiant LinkedIn pursuer, advocate, maybe, perhaps, Rock Gurton, I'm calling you out. I feel like you use LinkedIn. Quang, I feel like you use LinkedIn. A secret third person, Aaron might be a sleeper LinkedIn user. Whoever, whomsoever you may be, please drop a comment. I would be more than happy to set up a live debate that we could stream or something like this with some gameplay in the background, of course, discussing LinkedIn, because I really cannot stand it. I'm not sure what the appeal is. I'm not sure why it was created. You think that a resume, right, would be enough to tell people what you're doing for the people that care, right? If somebody's trying to hire you, you can tell them, oh, here's my resume. I will say that Indeed, right? Everything that LinkedIn people have in their mind with LinkedIn, Indeed actually does, and it does it well. I rock with Indeed heavy. Now, mind you, right? I'm saying all of this from a perspective of I've never had a real job in my life, and hopefully I never will have one, right? But if I were to have a real job, Indeed, I'd be looking on Indeed sometimes, like, oh, kind of, what am I qualified for? Mind you, I'm not qualified for anything because entry-level experience is always 5 years, right? So I can't actually do anything. But if I could, Indeed, you can kind of chit-chat and look around and just see what Indeed is offering. LinkedIn, that is not the case, man. LinkedIn is where dreams go to die. I think that I would rather be in World War II Japan than I would be in LinkedIn. Maybe not, but they're close. Like I'm telling you, man, terrorism is up there, and LinkedIn is also pretty bad. That's my thesis. Anywho, drop a comment if you rock with LinkedIn or email chains, and I'd be more than happy to discuss this further. But y'all take it easy. Later.